Here's a bonus recipe. I'm not sure if I'll do a full video on this one. I might, in which case this will be a sneak peek. But if not, this will be a video exclusively for my distinguished patrons. This is my South American twist on the Voodoo Grog. I'm calling it Voodoo in Exile. If you haven't watched the Voodoo Grog video, definitely check that one out. I was pretty happy with how it all came together in that one. It's a little long, but hopefully you feel like it's worth it. I certainly do. Anyway, the original is a Trader Vic drink. That's sort of a fancy variation of both his recipe for the Navy Grog and Don's recipe for the Navy Grog. And then there's a couple other things that sort of round things off, being the egg white, passion fruit, and sort of the nutmeg on top. So Vic's version uses two different rums, but I wanted to take the base in a slightly different direction. I subbed in Singani for one of the rums and retooled all the proportions to sort of balance it out. This version's a little bit lighter, and the grape-based Singani is the perfect complement with the meringue of the egg, the sort of baking spices, as well as the grapefruit juice. And the whole thing kind of comes together like a really complex, really exotic Pisco sour. What I mean is, if you like Pisco sours, you're going to love this one. Singani is sort of playing the second fiddle to the rum, but the flavor of the spirit is just, it's so concentrated that you need to kind of ease back on it a little bit so it doesn't overpower the drink. And even so, flavor-wise, it is still really balanced out. This version, like the original, just has that real delicate balance. That goes for the aromas of the mint and nutmeg, the creamy texture, the sort of citrus and exotic sweeteners, the two different spirits. It can really be thrown off if just one element is tipped too far one way or the other. I wouldn't call it an original drink, but it definitely has taken on different characteristics, and it's definitely an exciting variation. Also, I like to slightly modify the garnish on this version. If you can get your hands on it, this would be the way to go. I like using the dried pineapple wheel, like in Voodoo Grog, but I also like using a dried kiwi as opposed to the fresh cherry. And that combination, they make for this really great bite after you're done with the drink, and it works so well with all the flavors of the sort of South American riff on the drink. The name of this version is a nod to Simón Bolívar, and he was also known as the Liberator. He led the revolution to kick the Spanish out of South America, including, Venezuela, Ecuador, Peru, Colombia, Panama, and of course, Bolivia, which, was named after him. This is after the American Revolution and the Haitian Revolution. But in the middle of his struggle against the Spanish, he was exiled to the Caribbean. He went to Jamaica at one point, and after an assassination attempt, he fled to Haiti. And while he was there, he was sort of taken in by the president at the time and was able to get sort of restocked and reloaded to get back out there and fight another round with the Spanish and kick them out of what is now South America and a little bit of Central America. Anyway, this drink sort of represents a collaboration between the rum from Haiti and Singani from Bolivia, hence the name. But if you're somewhere where you can't find Singani, or it's, you're pulling your hair out trying to get it, and you're just dying to make this thing, you can just sub in equal parts Haitian rum and Muscatel Pisco. That combination will get you, pretty close. With the Muscatel Pisco and Singani, they share a lot of the same characteristics. It's just that Singani is the concentrated version. It's a lot more of the same flavor packed into a smaller package, and it's the one it was designed for. And also, the name will still work. Bolivar was the one who pried Peru out of the hands of the Spanish. Not to mention, he was also an early president of that country. Okay, so to make this one, you'll need pretty much most of the ingredients you needed for Voodoo Grog, but with a couple modifications. You'll need an aged Haitian rum. I like using Bourbon Court 8-year, but you can also make it with the 4-year if that's all you can find. Next up is Singani. That is the preferred way to go. Next up, we got Pimento Dram. That's Allspice Liqueur. Next up, we got passion fruit syrup, honey syrup. It's super easy to make. I like it 3-to-1, honey to water. That's what I end up always making. You know, it's sort of the penicillin recipe, but it is just the right balance of honey flavor and not being too sticky to get gummed up on the sides of your glass or your shaker tin or whatever. Lime. White grapefruit juice. You can get away with pink grapefruit if you need to, but if you can get your hands on that white grapefruit juice, that is the way to go. A lot of times I'll have good luck finding those at farmers markets as opposed to, grocery stores or whatever. And then we got an egg white, freshly grated nutmeg, mint, dried pineapple wheel, and a dried kiwi for garnish. If the kiwi is hard to find, you don't want to buy it just for this or whatever, you can sub in, a dried mango. All right, let's make this sucker. Pour 8 ounces or 240 milliliters of crushed ice in your glass. And that'll, chill that down. We'll measure out 1.5 ounces or about 45 mils of Haitian rum, 3/4 ounce or 22 mils of Singani, lime, grapefruit, and passion fruit syrup. It's going to be the same measurement all the way down for those 4 ingredients. So 3/4 ounce or 22 mils of Singani, lime, grapefruit juice, and passion fruit syrup. And then 1/2 ounce or 15 mils of Pimento Dram, 1/4 ounce or 7 mils of honey syrup. Drop in that egg white, dump the ice from your glass, and blend that sucker on high for about 20 seconds. The goal here is to liquefy all the crushed ice and just really get a good foam out of that egg white. It's pretty intense how much that foams up. Then go ahead and whack your mint on the rim of your glass. This just opens up the mint itself on the leaves, as well as, it leaves a lot of that wonderful minty aroma all over the glass. So, all right, let's pour the drink in the glass, then pop in your mint and pineapple garnish. Scrape a little fresh nutmeg on top. And I like to drink this one without a straw. I guess that's optional. Trader Vic would always picture it with a straw. Beachbum Berry likes to do it with a straw. But, I like sipping it through the sort of eggy meringue. So I like to go without a straw. But if you're dying to use one, you want to find a short straw. That way you can get your snout right up in the aroma of the nutmeg and the mint, which is all part of the sensory experience of this drink. This one's light and easy, but the flavors are super complex. I find it to be the perfect drink for the evening after a hot day. It's also a touch more boozy than the original, but you'd never notice it from tasting it, so be warned, it may sneak up on you. Give this variation a try. Let me know what you think of it. All right, well, thanks again for supporting the channel, and until next time, Akole Maluna. Or perhaps it's salud for this one. You let me know.